I made a video last week stating that I'm interested in having a cup of coffee with Nigel Farage. I didn't want to listen to gossip. I didn't want to listen to third-party information, people who have bias. I wanted to listen to Nigel Farage himself and sound him out to see whether he could tickle me. To not literally tickle. I'm quite ticklish, but you really could tickle me to vote for him. Sounds rather strange. You're not two grown men tickling each other. However, on a serious subject, I said I want to have a cup of coffee. Maybe dinner, a romantic dinner with Nigel Farage. Would that be something? Would that be something? And I want to sound him out. And I listened to him. I think he was in Birmingham Valley. Nigel Farage holds Reform Rally in Birmingham. And I'm the kind of person, if someone says you're a racist, I'm not going to stop being your friend. I'm going to get to know you and find out why you are that way or whether the person's lying. People make up things, to try to put a spanner in the works, or they find you a threat. And today, people smear you to shut you down. Okay? I want to do a lot of videos with regard to the dangers of cancel culture, wokeism, and how they're trying to stop you from thinking. It's quite dangerous, really dangerous. However, stop you from thinking. All the boats that are coming over, all the illegal immigrants coming over, the Tory party was quiet. The Labour Party was quiet. It took Nigel Farage, a racist, to speak the truth and to educate the dumb masses why illegal immigrants were coming over. It was as a result of Tony Blair and war in Iraq 20 years ago. The illegal war from which Tony Blair was not even tried as a war criminal, him and Bush. There was a legal war in 1997, which created ISIS, as Nigel Farage says. We had no problem with ISIS until David Cameron and Tony Blair started to do things breaking international law. And this is what causing illegal immigrants to flee from Libya. They bombed Libya, and Nigel Farage told them it was a bad move. You see, if you want to hate Nigel Farage for that political side, you have to love him for this.
He has the charisma of a damp rag. And what does he stand for? What does he stand for? He can't even define what a woman is. He flips and flops and changes his mind. So I couldn't stand aside. I couldn't stand aside with a country that's in economic decline and think about this. GDP per capita.
When he says that, look, and also I think the guy's name, who says there are only two genders and two sexes. They could be wrong. They could be wrong. Liberal science, is like a devil's fruit in the Garden of Eden. There to tempt you into a lie, into a deceit. Liberal science is not about truth. It's about politics and pandering to strange mental illnesses. But they said that at the end of the day, Nigel Farage, he says, what's his name? What's his name? Pierce Starmer. He's been to a private school, privately educated. He doesn't even know what a woman is.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix?
Well, it is something that shouldn't be said. It is not right. But Andrew, I don't think that
Rosie Duffield should not have said that. Can you explain to people watching why she should not have said that?
Well, Andrew, I don't think that we can just go through various things that people said. Rosie Duffield, I spoke to Rosie earlier this week and told her that conference was a safe place for her to come, and it is a safe place for her to come. And I spoke to others to make exactly the same principle. We do everybody a disservice when we reduce what is a really important issue to these exchanges on particular things that are said. The trans community are, as I say, the most marginalised and abused of many, many communities, and we need to make progress on the gender recognition.
No, he's playing games. They're playing games with their voters. You cannot go to a private school that studied biology and you don't even know what a woman is. Nigel Farage, he could sacrifice, votes, but he's standing by what he believes, and that is very rare. I don't agree with everything Nigel Farage says and does. However, if I was forced to vote, I would have to, hands on heart, vote the Reform Party. Labour, I'm afraid, if you can't tell what's male or female, you haven't got my vote at all.
Policing tweets, for heaven's sake. By the way, talking of social media, there's some breaking news that Nigel is going to break. Goodness me, you won't believe what's going on. It's common sense also, I think. And again, a lot of people get very upset. But I think it's common sense that there's only two sexes and two genders. I may be wrong.
Tory, 14 years of lies and deceit. I'm not a liberal, so I would never vote Liberal Democrat. So I'd have to vote the Reform Party. I'd have to. Because for the time you can discuss international politics honestly and with honesty and tell the people why we're suffering from illegal immigrants. Because the Western world caused it. From the time you tell people that you shouldn't have got involved with Ukraine war, with Russia, you should have got involved. This is a man I want to have dinner with. This is a man I want to romance with. This is a man that, funny with Donald Trump, with all his weaknesses, Donald Trump has never, ever taken America to war. Can you imagine? Right, North Korea and Russia, had no problem with America. Even though they're on the verge, they had no problem. Do you know, my voice falsely today, right? Donald Trump said that he could stop the war right now in Ukraine, right now. Why can't Sleepy Joe Biden with dementia? Why can't he do it? Why? I tell you why. There's money in war. The Democrats, they love it. They could stop this war if they wanted to. Donald Trump says if he became president, he could stop it like that. But back to UK politics. I've never seen Tory party tell the truth. That is because of the invasion of Iraq and bombing Libya, why you got immigrants coming. I've never come across Labour tell the truth. No Tory. That's why if you're an outsider, like Nigel Farage, if you're an outsider, they will hate you. Because you're challenging the establishment. So they'll smear you as a racist. Why? Even though the Tory party has a racist history, always have done, they'll call you a racist. Think the people are dumb. They'll call just to shut you down. Labour Party have their own racial hierarchy. Yeah, they're calling Nigel Farage a racist. Anything, he should reverse the cards and show them their racist past. Say, come on, let's fight in the trenches. So they're trying to shut you down by smearing you. This is a new discussion today, the new warfare, smear. It's not about discussion and honesty anymore. Calling people homophobic, anti-Semitic, racist, sexist. And it's an excuse. Because full well, this is why Richard Sunak refused to debate, Nigel Farage. Refused. Because, you know, when a liar knows he's a liar, he's not going to come forward and debate you when he knows he's a liar. Nigel Farage is not afraid to debate anyone, which means he must know which side his bread is buttered on. He must know at the end of the day, with what he stands for, he can deliver and he won't lose audience. So he can tell the truth. These are the video clips that I got and what tickled me.
Is Aaron Banks, one of the men who put the most money into that Brexit campaign. And Aaron had to fight the Russia hoax for years in the courts until he finally won against a Guardian journalist. Russia had nothing to do with our success in that referendum. So the BBC has started off the Russia hoax. And I understand why the BBC don't like me. I understand why the Labour Party don't like me. I understand why the Conservative Party don't like me, because unlike them, I could see that the war in Iraq 20 years ago was a mistake because there was never any endgame. And unlike them, the war that David Cameron launched in 2012 against Libya, I railed against again and again and again, but of course, it was supported by the Conservative Party, supported by the Labour Party, and what happened? A new organisation was created, ISIS. We created ISIS. Before the Libyan war, there were no boats crossing the Mediterranean, but because of David Cameron, a couple of million have now crossed the Mediterranean, and many, of course, now want to come to us. And unlike them, who seem to have no feeling or understanding for history, I predicted 10 years ago in the European Parliament that because of our actions, there would be a war in Ukraine. I said it openly, I said it clearly, and I was the only British political figure to get, sadly, to get that right. At the point, we need someone leading our country in difficult times when the world is perhaps in a more perilous place than it's been at any point in our lifetimes. You do need a degree of charisma. Now, Keir Starmer has the charisma of a... Well, I did use this 10 years ago in the European Parliament, but I'm going to dig it out of the cupboard. He has the charisma of a damp rag. And what does he stand for? What does he stand for? He can't even define what a woman is. He flips and flops and changes his mind. So I couldn't stand aside. I couldn't stand aside with a country that's in economic decline, and think about this. GDP per capita. Policing tweets, for heaven's sake. By the way, talking of social media, there's some breaking news that Nigel is going to break. Goodness me, you won't believe what's going on. It's common sense also, I think. And again, a lot of people get very upset. But I think it's common sense that there's only two sexes and two genders. I may be wrong. I think it's common sense that you adapt to climate change. You don't try and think you can stop the power of the sun, for heaven's sake. And that's why we're the only party that has a common sense approach to this issue. And I have to tell you that finally, we're the only party that has the courage to say net zero, frankly, is not the answer. Yes, let's use technology